Hey guys, it's day 9 of waking up at 5 a.m. So I had a thought today. I was just thinking like when a person wants to, change their life, they want to like make a drastic change, they want to improve their life or whatever. At some point, at some point in time, they have to make a jump. They have to take that leap of faith and just say like sometimes just say F it and just go for it. In everyone's lives, there is that point where you gotta just say, I don't care what's gonna happen, but I'm gonna go for it. Whether it's for your dreams, whether it's for a girl that you like, whether it's for that business or whatever dream you have. If it's realistic and you've thought about it a while now and you're like, okay, it doesn't really make sense if I fail at this. And even if I fail, like I don't really lose much. Once you got that settled in, you have to actually do it. And to do it, you need some courage. You need some courage. Like me dropping out of college to get a job, that took some courage. That took a lot of courage. That's still the hardest decision I've ever had to make, but that decision for me paid off, and I was ready for it not paying off as well. Like I had to find a way. Like even if I dropped out and I still haven't like found a good job like real estate, I would still be trying 24/7. I would still do everything I can. But you have to take that risk eventually. Eventually you have to take that risk. That's for me. Okay, I don't know about your life, but at some point you gotta take a risk like that. Maybe not dropping out of college. Maybe it's quitting your job, quitting your 9 to 5 job to start your own business because that's what you've always wanted to do. But you gotta take it. You gotta have the courage to take that kind of risk. And no one's gonna take it for you. No one's gonna take it for you. In fact, everyone's gonna try to stop you and say, "Oh, you shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that," because this is what weird people do. Nobody does this. No, don't do it. You're gonna get a lot of resistance, and despite those resistance, you still have to push through. You still have to keep going forward and just like say no. Like I want to do this. I want to do this. So you're gonna get tested. It's not if you want to do it or not, it's how much you want to do it. It's like, do you really want to do it? Do you really want to like, go against what your parents say? Do you really want it? Or it's like, when your parents say no, then you're just like, oh, you just give up. That means you didn't really want it in the first place, I believe. But yeah, everyone's gonna make that hard decision eventually. Unless, I guess the 9 to 5 job is a great job for you and you enjoy that life, then I can't complain. Because I know there are people like that, and honestly, if they're happy that way, I'm super happy for them. But I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't do that for my own life. And I know some of you watching, you probably watching because you don't want to go through that life too. You don't want to go through that 9 to 5 mundane life your whole life. You probably want some freedom. You probably want to have the ability to say like, oh, I want to travel here on the Monday to Europe or something. You want to have that freedom. I know you guys want to have that freedom. And yeah, I mean, technically I could go to Thailand tomorrow if I wanted to, but I just don't think I need to, but I'm not that rich yet. I can't go to like US or the Europe to travel there for like a month. I mean, maybe I could do it, but then my bank account would be empty by then. So no point. But yeah, in everybody's life, at some point you gotta make that decision to jump, to just go in, not knowing where it's gonna lead to, the uncertainty, and still going through with that risk. If you're not gonna die, you might as well try. I mean, if the worst thing, you gotta think the worst case scenario. The worst thing that could happen is, okay, I go broke, I lose everything, but at least I learned some lessons and I'm still alive, then I should still keep trying, until I succeed. Like most people, when they they lose all their money, then they give up. But if you learn a lot of lessons along the way, then isn't it worth it? Like, I think it's worth it, but you gotta think. You gotta think it's worth it. I can't think for you guys. You guys gotta think for yourself. I'm just sharing my opinion. I could be wrong here, but the main point is you guys gotta think for yourself what you guys want in this life. And when you guys know what you want, you guys have to have the courage enough to take that jump and just go for it. Because you're always gonna delay things. You're always gonna be like, oh, maybe 5 years down the road, or maybe I'll wait till next semester to drop out, or maybe I'll wait till next year or something. You gotta teach yourself to be urgent to make that decision now. Sometimes your own decisions, not decisions that people pressure you into making. Like, oh, you gotta sign this thing. No, you gotta read that thing before you sign it. But I'm saying your own decisions, like your own goals. You gotta give yourself some urgency. If not, you're never gonna do it. You're never gonna do it. No one's gonna tell you to do it, man. You gotta tell yourself. You gotta train yourself. You gotta coach yourself. I don't like being a coach and all that, but you have to coach your own self. I can only guide like some of you guys, but you guys, in the end, you guys have to help yourself. You guys have to coach yourself. You guys have to believe in yourself. As cliche as it may sound, you guys have to actually do it yourself. Like, I'm just a guide. You guys don't need me, but you have to figure out things for yourself. That's one of the most important skills in life: figuring things out by yourself. And not putting anyone on a pedestal just because, oh, he's Einstein, so there's no way I can be smarter than him. Like, there are ways you can be smarter than him. In some ways, maybe in some aspects, he's not that good. Maybe he doesn't really have a good social life, while you're smarter than him in that way. So you gotta find your strengths, you gotta find your weaknesses, and just not give up, and just realize that this life is so huge. There's so many things that are undiscovered yet. There's so